Hi, it's A from McFaith Photography, and today I'm looking at Dehancer film emulation software being used in DaVinci Resolve for editing videos with my Mini 3 Pro drone. So let's have a look. This is a software here. I've got a copy of Dehancer Pro, which I'm using, and it can simulate all these wonderful old school film simulations and lots more. You can see a list of things here on the website which you can look at, things like film grain, halation, bloom, breathing and gate weave, all these things which come in one handy little plugin, well, big plugin really. So if we pop over to Resolve, here we go. So I just found a few clips from flying around a field of straw really, which I was doing the other day. So as you can see, it's using the Mini 3, it's in D-Cine-like, and which gives you a sort of fake D-Log kind of look. It's flat, it's desaturated, and then you can add a little bit of pop. There's loads of ways you can do it with lookup tables, or DaVinci itself has this wonderful colour palette. So I thought I would have a go at giving these clips the filmic look. I've done a few already, but let's have a look in our colour palette and I'll show you how it works. So first up, as you can see, there's a few here I've already done, but if we get one, how about this one here? So it's quite a long clip. I'll just hide my clips and gallery, so hopefully we can see a little bit more. I've resized my screen down to 2500 pixels, so it looks a little bit bigger on the video. So if I scroll down to film emulation, Dehancer Pro, so we'll pop it in there. I'm going to do nothing in the first node. I'm just going to leave it as it is, and then we can have a look at the Dehancer settings. Now, can I give us a bit more room here? Let's have a look. Nah, looks like that's as big as I can get the screen here, which is, this is okay. So off the bat, when you look here, and you've got this is a plugin. I'll just close up all the different tools you get within this one plugin. Wow, they go on forever, don't they? Now, I've only really just opened this for the first time today, so I'm not an expert, but I just wanted to see quickly what the first impressions were of it and how easy it is to use. So input Rec 709. It's not a log file, so I'm just going to leave it at Rec 709 and leave all that stuff as is for now. This is where it starts to get interesting. We've got the different film types. So currently on this Kodak Vision, I got, well, if I scroll from the top to the bottom, I don't know if you can see this, that's how many there are. Now, I've never really done film video before, so I don't know what all these films do. Some of you might go, God, I've used that one before, but like Polaroid Polarchrome 35mm 30 in 1986 looks a bit like that. Okay, and then you've got this daylight chrome, Lomachrome purple, Lomachrome Metropolis. That might be good for cities, maybe. Konica Minolta VX400 Super. So you can see, you can go on for days, well not days, but for a long time looking through these. So I'm thinking maybe let's find one which is fairly high ISO, maybe this 500, just so it will hopefully give us a bit more grain. Let's just scrub through this a little bit. I want to get a bit with the sky in. Okay, so without anything else, that is the film look added, and now we've got this push and pull thing. So it seems to add a little bit of contrast if we push. There we go. Right, so we've got the input, the film, now the film developer. So this looks like our first proper creative look. So if we got the contrast here, we can give it a bit more punch. I think I'm going to go for a bit more punch there. So the trees go a bit darker and the field a bit brighter. Gamma effects are pretty much the mid-tones really, isn't it? So I might just come down a little bit with that. Obviously you can do a lot of this stuff with the DaVinci's own stuff in advance, I guess, but colour separation, I'm not sure what this does actually, but it's at 100, so I'm going to leave it there. And then you've got colour boost, where you can go from virtually black and white up a little bit, maybe to there. So that's what the film developer does. So it's taken something fairly flat and we've managed to get some colour and contrast into it. Okay, so the next one on the list is film contrast, or compression rather, and I'm guessing from the word compress, it's like a musical compressor which lowers the very loud noises and makes the very quiet noises louder, so everything seems a little bit close together. Think about a drum kit, the snare will be very loud and some of the hi-hat cymbals might be a bit quiet, so if you want to get those close together you use a compressor, and this looks like this is what this is doing. So it's got a white point where if you move it to the left the whites seem to get brighter, and tonal range, again this isn't something I've used before, I'm not too up on the terminology, but it looks like you can play with the colours again. Let's just switch it off and on. So it seems to be sort of adding contrast in the sky and removing it in the grass, in the hay, straw rather. So expand, I think this is like levels where you've got a black point and a white point. And if you move the black point to one side it goes faded and the other side it goes dark. So I'll keep an eye on the scopes here, so they're just about hitting the bottom there, look. Maybe there, and do the same with the white point. So if we bring that down like that, so enabled, disabled, so it gives it a bit more life. Now I'm not sure what this print thing does, but it's got more of the same really. Colour density, I suppose if you are a print type this will make perfect sense for you. It'll be down to the machine you're printing on. It's on linear, so I'm going to leave it there. Colour head, now this one where we go, colour head allows you to play with the yellow, blue. Oops, I've got to enable it before you can see what it does. So you can make something warmer or cooler with yellow and blue, or you can correct a magenta or green cast with this one. And cyan red, I quite like the cyan look, actually nice and cool. There we go, something like that. And then you can tone the shadows blue, or looks to be blue or yellow. And anyway, I'm not too sure about all that sort of stuff, but I think this is a nice way you can just adjust the colours to your own taste. Now, film grain, I guess this is where the old analogue stuff comes in, isn't it really? If you look at let's go back to there. So if we switch the grain off and on, so that's off. Playback, I think I might be on HD rather than 4K, but never mind. But anyway, but if we increase the amount of grain, switch it on, you can see it goes very, very grainy. And they've got lots of different presets again. And you can go through and find ones to taste really. 8mm, 65mm at ISO 200. What's that one look like? So if we put it on a fairly high, that's quite a nice grainy look. What, 500? That's nice. So if you can see the grain, especially as we cross the texture of the straw. So let's leave that there. Now we've got halation, or halation. Sure, this is going to demonstrate it very well, but oh yeah, you can see if you look next to the bale, so there's little red bits. So that's interesting. So that we've gone into normal. So yeah, it definitely does make a fair difference to this shot actually as a halation. So let's leave that on. Bloom. So it's an interesting one. It sort of puts a little white halo around things by the looks of it. I think there's already a bloom thing in DaVinci. Film damage, if you want your, we've got jitter and let's put some more. So this is all your bits of dust and things like that. You can see it flickering up there, hopefully. Switch it off. Ooh. That stops. Film breathe. Not too sure what that does yet. That's one I've got to read about. Gate weave. I'm going to say it's probably, see, it's taking a bit more processing power now, isn't it? We're down to 16 frames a second. Overscan is when you put one of those, yeah, looks like you've got a film around it. Like that. It's quite cool. Vignette is one of my favourites, just putting a dark edge around it. You can vary the size of the middle of it, the brightness of it, and how feathered it is. So you can go from just like dark edges like that, and you can actually change the shape of it from a tall thin to a fat wide, like that. Maybe a little bit too much there. And it looks like at the end you can fade the effect in and out like that, look, which is quite cool. And there's also a way of generating a lookup table from it. Let's try that. Export LUT. So I've got some LUTs I save here, so there you go. So in future you can use that same look without having to go through the whole software, and maybe save a bit of processing power. But so if we just play that back, as I say, it's running at 17 frames a second there, so it's a bit, yeah, the processor's working quite hard. Yeah, it's certainly looks like it's from a different era, doesn't it? Wow, that is unedited there, and I've done a few earlier ones, so there's, I'll just play you through these. So that's got a bit more noise on. Yeah. So this one, none of these have had any adjustments in Lightroom. So it's taking the flat file, the Cine-like file from the drone, and Dehancer Pro's doing all the work. I seem to have gone for the same look on every one of them actually. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. You can see another one. These are all different. I didn't just copy. It looks like I've pretty much done the same thing on each one, really. Is this one we've just done? No, it's not, is it? Oh, it's a bit different, isn't it? So that's probably a lighter edit. No, this is the one we just did. So I'll tell you what, I'll just go and find some different drone footage. Okay, so here we have some city footage of Leeds. So I've done nothing to it yet. Shall we just take from this bit of footage here? Let's just drag the blacks up to the edge of the histogram and do the same with the whites. There we go, and maybe just brighten it up a little bit. Like that. Okay, so a very basic edit. I usually shoot at 5500 Kelvin. So what we're going to go for film wise, do you want a cold look, or quite like that? That looks nice, doesn't it? Let's have a quick zoom in. Tell you what, where do you set your timeline? Is it in projects? I will leave that. Anyway, look, if you zoom in, it's got this sort of nice kind of 70s vibe about it, hasn't it? Look. Okay, so that literally is just, I'm just pushing and pulling here, look. That's just changing the film. So let's go back into the tools now. So in the developer, contrast. So you can see what a powerful slider this one is. So I think maybe there, gamma correction. Should we see a little bit more detail in those shadows. Colour separation. I'm not entirely sure what colour separation is doing, to be honest. So that's full, and that's empty. And colour boost. See, it was a sunset, so if we up the colour a little bit, yeah, we are getting a little bit of warmth on the side of the buildings, like that. So let's have a little fly in. Excellent. Okay, film compression. So if we put the impact on to 100%, we can then have a play with the white point. So if we look at the parade below, if we pull the white point up, we can watch. Oh, it kind of stops there. Look, I'm not sure why that is, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. But it doesn't go past there. It just kills it up here. Okay. Total range. Ah, right. So this is a bit like a HDR slider in a way. So that's squashing things down a little bit, and it's almost doing the exact opposite of contrast boost. Right. Anyway, so that's film developer compression. Expand. Right. I think so. Expands at nothing at the moment. So let us. So where do we want the black point? Probably want it just so the bottom of the street, maybe, you know, these portholes here and bottom of those trees is black-ish, or getting there. And with the whites, yeah, just breathe a bit of life into it. Now the profile again. I'm not. Let's go for this. Ooh, you can select the different film types. I like that. That blue one's nice, isn't it? Fuji, Canon, log film. So, and I think this one will help us get a little bit more detail again. Tonal contrast. I think this is similar sort of thing to clarity in Lightroom. Let's add a little bit of that. Color density. Yeah. So you see, when it's on full, you're getting these blobs of orange on the side of things. And saturation. Yeah, all the way from black to full. So a lot of this stuff here is like the basic panel in Lightroom, I guess, where you can play with contrast, tone, colour and all that sort of stuff. Now colour head, this is your colour mixer. So if you want to do it a little bit more, we need to enable it first, a bit more orange or blue. I think sunset shot, maybe not orange yellow, could be a bit more yellowy and magenta-y. Oh, look at that, that's nice. Yeah, I like that. Maybe too much magenta there. Cyan, just maybe a little bit of red. Too much. How's that looking? Let's just play it. Let's switch off the. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. That's very. So the shadows. Do we go for a bit of a warmer shadow on this one? Midtones. No, we don't want a blue, do we? And highlights. Yeah, let's get that sky up there. All this could be done in DaVinci itself by the look of it, but it's lovely to have it all in one place. Well, I say all of it. I don't think these next ones, the film grain emulation. Oh yeah, I just love that. It's like the start of a 70s movie, isn't it? You can imagine the crazy theme tune. Let's try 65mm, no remjet. There we go. Now, show a bit of bloom. See, bloom gives it that little glow or anything bright. It just has a little halo around it by the looks of things. If I up to full, I do like that. That's nice. Fantastic. Yeah, I think the halations worked as well, so we'll keep that on. I'm not going to bother with film damage. I'm not sure what film breathe actually does. Yeah, the halation and bloom do slow your processor down a little bit. It's got running at 17 rather than 25 there. I suppose there's a lot of processing going on. I'm not sure what gate weave does. I'm not bothering with the overscan, but I will add a small vignette. Something like that. No, don't. I'm not going to touch that. It's all about. Okay, right. So let's export that LUT into my LUTs. Dehancer Codec Vision 3. Let's just see if we can go to another clip. So the LUT folder is here. what I'll do is I'll pop over to my own look folder on the cloud and get the most recently modified one, which was this, and pop it into McFade LUTs. There it is. I'm just testing now whether if we go to McFade LUT, oh, it might need to rescan. Rescan this one. There it is. Right. So it's this one here. So if we apply this to the current node, we get all that lovely grading colour from the LUT. Let's just close that again. Switch that off. So that's what it was. Obviously we're not getting the benefit of the grain or any of the halation or anything like that, but you get the colour, which is quite nice. So what you could do instead is grab a still from that, let's get our clips up, and then we could just do apply grade, ooh god, it's apply grade, right, and then everything I shot that night will have this amazing 70s vibe about it. So let's have a look at, it's quite a short clip, this one. This was a bit dark, so this is an instance where you might pop into your first node if you want to keep everything the same, and I think maybe just give this a bit of a boost. Probably wants a bit of contrast. What's that look like? Yeah, it's running a bit slow there, isn't it? There we go. So that's Leeds University in 1970, as is this. Yeah, that's a particularly dark one. Let's see what we can do with, I'll just reset that node, that one there, and let's go purely through Dehancer. So this clearly I'd exposed for the bright sky, and there wasn't any sky in the shot, so it looks really dark. Using exactly the same settings as the other ones. Contrast boost, probably does want to be fairly contrasty, this one. Gamma correction, we're too dark, aren't we there? Colour boost, where's the one that had exposure? There we go. So this is print, so let's give it the boost it requires. Tonal contrast will hopefully drag a little bit of colour out of it. Saturation, any of these other papers look good. No, that's probably the one. White point, I might just, the next one down, expand. So this is where we can really boost those whites and crush those blacks a bit. Right, so let's have a quick look at this. So if we switch that off, that's the drone footage, and that is our aged look. It does look like we're from a different era entirely, doesn't it? So again, we can maybe get slightly different, we can get a different vibe to this one, maybe a little magenta and blue, and actually let's go for the yellow blue midtones, a bit more yellow. Film grain, yeah, look at that, I love that oldie worldy. Let's switch to halation and the bloom off because there's not a lot of light going on. So I just want to see this run at natural speed, so let's just see. Right, so we've got to this point. Does bloom do anything here? Oh, it does, look. It's got that nice glow around the edges. It's a long clip, this one. I'd anchored onto this tower. I was just trying to get some nice shots of the clock. Beautiful. Anyway, that is my first impression of this plugin. It's very powerful what it can do. You know, in fact, it can pop out a LUT as well. Is quite a cool thing. I mean, if you look at the feeling, yeah. So it's interesting that this particular. Let's just reset that. I remember shooting this because it was a lot darker going this way because there was no sun in the shot. So if I play this, you can see that histograms, well, the scopes have very little shadow. So if we click on there, and yeah, that looks pretty oldie worldy, isn't it? Right, so yeah, definitely. If you want to take your normal drone footage, I think those two tests I've been doing there do show you that you can do quite a lot with this plugin. You know, just to give it a bit more of a realistic and droney kind of vibe. I think if you get a feel in one scene, one clip, you can then just copy that that feel to the rest of them by the looks of it, and you'll get a nice consistent look. So yeah, enjoyed that.